Hello, sunshine. Welcome to Be Visible with Veronica, the podcast where bold conversations and soul-aligned strategy help you awaken your most powerful self. I'm your host, Veronica Bond. Get ready to stop dimming your light, own your magic, and finally be so visible you can't be ignored. Let's get visible. A heartfelt thank you to our premier sponsor, Green Living Magazine, Arizona's leading conscious lifestyle publication. Each issue is packed with new ideas on how to use nature's resources for sustainable living tips, inspiring stories, and statewide eco events. Subscribe today and get 12 print issues and digital access at greenlivingmag.com/store. Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 4. I'm Veronica Bond, and I'm thrilled to have a 501c3 with us today, which we will highlight every month on this podcast. Foundations are a huge part of who I am, and giving back and having a mission with your message as an entrepreneur is so important. So today, our very first 501c3 is Miss Kaleigh Rogers with Broken Arrow Wranglers. Welcome,
Good
Kaleigh.
morning. Hi. Thank you so much for having me.
So welcome. Hello, sunshine. Look, you're fabulous in your yellow.
Both of us. This blue and this yellow goes really good together.
A little sky, a little sun.
Exactly.
Feels good. Feeling the light.
So excited to be here.
So excited to have you. So Kaleigh and I met through Women Network.
Yep.
For those of you who don't know, I'm the managing director, the executive managing director for our Phoenix Scottsdale chapter. And I wanted to launch a podcast that highlighted women entrepreneurs, their journey, but also made sure we were giving back to the voice of the community. And when you won our grant in 2023, it was an $8,000 grant, and you came to our Icon experience in Dallas.
Yes, ma'am.
That was lovely.
Oh, what an experience. Picture like 500 joyful women empowering and encouraging each other. That's what that was. It was amazing. Although by the end of the week, all of our shoes like slowly got less high. We're just like, we know each other now. We're good.
I think I was in tennis shoes that last day. Oh my gosh, it was great. Now, you have continued to show up at the community and you continue to network, and you're on multiple podcasts. And I don't think you knew before you started Broken Arrow Wranglers.
Yes, ma'am.
That was your mission in life. And I love that we're going to talk about that because, you know, I believe readers are leaders and earners are learners. I always have a book I'm writing and one I'm reading.
Yes.
And one of my books that I absolutely love, it was given to me many years ago, but today I begin a new life.
Oh, yeah.
And I think this really spoke to me with you here today on purpose. Everything is very purposeful.
Yes.
So tell us about Broken Arrow Wranglers.
Yes.
And how for you it was a journey of how you began a new life, because you left a 6-figure job
I sure did.
to go start that.
I sure did.
So why don't you tell our listeners and our audience and our viewers what that was like for you? Because I've had a number of conversations in 38 years, and I'll just start with this, where people say, I have this idea, or I want to give back, or I'm going to do this thing, and they never do it. And I think there's fear there. There's thinking they need the money first. We were talking before we went on air that people get into paralysis analysis. But I'm a believer that done is better than none, and you can tweak it along the way. So share what that story was for you and how you knew working with horses and people with trauma was a place you were going to go be.
Yeah, there's so much in what you just said. That
I
could
know.
be like a 2-hour. Welcome to Veronica's TED Talk, because like wisdom, rewind, listen to everything you just said. gosh, where do I start? The short story version, I've been a trauma therapist the last 10 years. It was my calling to go into trauma. When God first pulled me into that, I said, there's no way. I don't know enough. Like, there's no way. And yet he kicked me in the pants. He sent me first to a domestic violence shelter and homeless shelter. And it was there I started to see even more of what's happening in our communities and with people. So I kept walking forward with all the nudges, even though I was scared, even though I kept having Moses moments, I call them, where they're like, me, God, are you sure? So I kept walking, and went to residential treatment with teenagers. So teenagers pulled out of detention centers and psych hospitals to get treatment and heal. And then an intensive outpatient program for substance use in South Phoenix. And then I led a trauma team in a corporate setting. And man, was it an amazing team. 12 solid, fantastic therapists helping high-level trauma. Like the stuff that most therapists go, I have no idea what to do with this. And I was thriving. Our company got bought out by Fortune 25 and some changes happened. But in that, I saw still gaps. I would work with clients who would lose their access insurance, for example, because they were getting better. They got a job at a sandwich shop, and now they no longer can get therapy covered. Yes.
Oh, wow.
And so over and over again, I'm watching people reach for help and can access it. On top of, I reflected on my own healing. I'd see my clients and myself need more than sitting in an office with one person. I could do a lot for my clients, but I couldn't represent a healing community. So I led a lot of group therapy, but even that, it didn't heal the nervous system the ways it needed. And so I'm learning all these things, and I got the full, you're gonna have to leave feeling. Like you have to leave. Even these therapists that you have nurtured and loved on, even this income that is like, wow, 6 figures, comfortable, working from home 5 days a week. And I wasn't sure what to do. I had that moment where you're talking about wait for the money to come. And I thought, well, if 10,000 comes into the nonprofit account, then I'll know to leave. Well, that didn't happen. And I prayed with a woman at church, and God came through and he said, I'm a good God. You say that, but you staying out of fear that it's not going to happen means you don't really believe what you say you do. Oh, talk about a gut punch. So I put on my notice that day and had perfect peace. Perfect peace.
What?
Yeah, and I had met you that day. I had met you a couple months before that while I was still in corporate and knew what was coming, but wasn't ready to move my feet. I know.
What?
I know. And for years, I've been connected to horses since 2019 and knew the profound nature and still wouldn't move. But then I moved and I left, and what a journey it's been.
So how did you come up with the name? Because I know that is often a sticking point.
Yes.
So Broken Arrow Wranglers.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
I am so gifted and blessed that I am not the only one in charge of this beautiful thing that we've been gifted. Like, you need a team and a community, and I didn't realize that. So in 2019, I was invited to a round pen experience. I didn't know what I was getting into, but I knew I needed it. It was for veterans and PTSD and traumatized horses. And around that round pen was some people that have become my very best friends.
Wow.
I never expected it. And in that is the executive director, the co-founder, as he calls himself, with God, of Broken Arrow Wranglers. And as he's walking through this, and I had to step away some because of my corporate career, so I'm barely engaged. This movement continued to be grown and cultivated, and in that, Broken Arrow Wranglers, if you look at the brand, because we work with horses, it literally is a brand that could be put on an animal if needed, or on memorabilia, et cetera. It's a brand. You can see a big W for Wranglers and a cross at the top, and then an arrow goes through to the cross and out. And we are all broken arrows. Like, we're all broken arrows. We all have these things inside of ourselves that we try and hide and cover up and not connect with other people to help us walk through. And it limits us. Like you said, it keeps us stuck from doing what we ought to do, or the brilliance that we're given to create something really, really beautiful, and we're just not sure how to do it. And as we as broken arrows go straight to the cross and community with each other, he shoots us back out. He shoots us back out, and it's in our brokenness that we actually get to shine bright. Like, we don't have to get it all together to be able to do the beautiful things that we are gifted to do.
And Kaleigh, one of the reasons why I want to make sure we're focusing on 501, I'm saying it slow because I have this backwards.
I love you.
501c3s.
Yes, ma'am.
And I'm putting together my Million Dreams with the 501(c)(3)s to help women entrepreneurs in funding for things that they need to get their businesses off so they can go make the greatest impact. What I've learned is it's similar to an entrepreneurial journey. It's starting a business.
Yes.
And you need funds to start that business, and you need funds to roll in, and you need to be profitable.
Yes.
I think that's an oxymoron with the word nonprofit.
It is. People don't understand. Yes.
Yes. And they think that you're not supposed to have any funds, and yet those funds are what cultivate and create that community and allow you to help those who are broken.
Oh, 100%. I love that we're talking about this, one, because it is so on brand for you. Most listeners probably don't know that you are one of very few executive managing directors that are able to gift a grant recipient, but you actually gifted multiple times. And I think it's something that's inside of you where you lift others as you climb as eWomen Network. It's one of the core values. You lift others as you climb. But you might have to go back to your direct question. I could go forever on about that.
Well, we were just talking about how there's that oxymoron around the nonprofit languaging because it is for profit. You need an income. You walked away to go and to now support people in this trauma community.
Yes.
And work with these beautiful horses.
Yes. Oh, I got to jump in there here in a second. Okay, so going back to what you said.
Yes.
So if you think of a church and a pastor, right? Mm-hmm. The pastor, they are dedicated to really scoping what is Scripture saying, what does the congregation need, and that's full time what they do. Like every moment of every day is gifted to the service of the flock that is there, right? If they aren't funded, well, how does a church exist? It's the same thing. It's the very same thing. Mm-hmm. So for me, in my role, it's funding to be able to continue to go out and serve, but then also continue to grow this awareness that not only this is happening, but healing does exist. I mean, every 11 minutes, one person in the U.S. commits suicide. Like think of how hopeless our nation is because they don't know that there is hope on the other side. And what we found is horses are a really amazing gateway to that. We got around this round pen in 2019, mostly men and veterans that typically had been in spaces where they hadn't felt safe to be able to communicate. And then also traumatized women that are like, I don't know if this is my place. And in 45 minutes, with the focus being on the horse, people opened up, like crying, bawling, and it changed lives. It changed my life that day in 45 minutes. So the thing I want to talk about horses briefly, again, I could talk forever about them, is I believe they're God's gift to mankind. One, because they're honest. They don't have the same prefrontal cortex as a human, so they can't lie. They are as they are, and they read you as you really are. So if you step in the round pen with a mask and you think you have it all together, they know immediately you don't.
Wow.
And they are looking for a leader. They look for leadership, and they live in a herd mentality, meaning every person in the herd, no matter what the pecking order is, has a role and a place, and it matters, and they support each other. If, say, a cougar is coming at this herd, the horse on the outside of the herd, their heartbeat will spike, and every horse almost instantaneously will feel the same thing, so they can move together and be safe together. So, nuggets of wisdom. So when you get in the round pen with a horse, and you're open to learn, they teach you everything about yourself, about where you're falling short as a leader, maybe these parts in yourself where you're disconnecting. People heal their bodies, their mind, their spirit when they step in with horses, and it's safe. Most people have been traumatized by another person, and they don't know how to let their guard down with another person. But when you step in with a horse, it's something very different.
And you have a couple different places here in Arizona where you're helping serve a community with horses and bringing people together.
Yep.
Do you only focus on those who have extreme PTSD, or you said leadership? So as we're sitting here in this entrepreneurial conversation, I know so many women who are creating retreats or who want to grow in leadership, and even corporate.
Yes.
Has a need for bringing out the leaders in their community and helping other people buy into the vision and the mission. And we were really connected. There's a couple reasons why we're connected. We both lost our brothers young.
Yes, we did.
And you were there for me going through all of that I went through, and for my family. But when people said, is there a charity or a nonprofit that we could give to in honor of your brother's name, we picked Broken Arrow Wranglers.
Yes.
And because you also help people with their grief.
Yes, we do.
So it's not just one focus.
No.
You want to share a little bit about that?
Yeah,
and maybe some transformations you've been able to witness.
Oh, it's
Maybe
hurting
one.
people,
One
hurting souls. Yeah, it doesn't have to be PTSD, but it's someone that has that ache down deep inside, and they don't know what to do. They don't know what to do, and so they reach out. They put an arm out, and we say, "Oh, we're going to walk with you." And we walk with people in our authenticity. So it's a safe environment. Not everybody knows where a safe environment exists. What I loved about your brother, Ricky, I never got to meet him, but just surrounding you and the family, he had this spirit of adventure and going out and about and being able to shine bright and encourage other people. That was like, I could immediately pick that up on him. And he would have been someone that walked hand in hand with us because he sees people as they are, and he realizes that respites exist in nature, with animals, in a really safe community of people. I mean, that's the best life has to offer. It really does. And so when we look at transformations, you're right. I probably should only share one. I think my favorite, I love Teresa Porter, and we met at a round pen experience. She's been very vocal about her story, hence I can share it. Usually I everything's confidential,
sure, of course,
unless someone says that they can share. But she too,
she's on your website.
Yes,
her story.
She is. She too lost her brother young in a motorcycle accident. And she came to horses through the experience of her daughter, who had a level 2 concussion. And she didn't realize that God was actually pulling her in for her own healing.
Wow.
And I watched this woman get brave. I watched her step in the round pen. I watched her week after week allow things to crack open, allow herself to walk through and discover a way that she didn't know existed. And she allowed herself to make these leaps in her life, in her family life, in her business. She's a movement for mindfulness,
right?
Literally.
I agree. I've seen
places that are needed.
Her transformation.
And so I think of this one woman, how it's changed her entire sphere, like everybody that interacts with her. And that tends to be the stories. That tends to be what happens. Is you touch one life and then they're different.
It's a ripple effect.
Oh, 100%.
And that's really the impact we need to make. And as women who are focusing on making these shifts and changes, and yet they're the men in our lives are very foundational too, and impactful and important. I mean, you have Sean who works with you and yours.
Oh,
and you heal everybody. But, I'm thinking, how can we help you in funding, and what is it that we need to do as a community, those listeners and viewers that are here, and they want to know more about Broken Arrow Wranglers, and they want to go to your website, and they want to support you. But I'm also thinking, you know me, my brain is always on.
Tell me.
So if you have a team and they're working with you, and you're looking for a way to support them, and you want to create community and vision for your company, and you want to just honor the work that they've done for you, why not come to Broken Arrow Wranglers and have a day or have a retreat or have an afternoon where you are in a team building space with the horses.
Yes.
And then they can contribute to the 501c3, and that supports you too.
Yes.
So you're working with in a team space to get people to work with these horses, and you have the background to be able to lead them. And then you're benefiting by the donation that was given to you. And then it's a tax write-off for the business.
Yes, win.
I mean, that's a win-win.
I'm loving your idea because we're also about transforming inner hearts, but culture. So when you think of leadership versus management, they're very different. Like a leader and a manager are different. And so when you offer opportunities for a culture to get together and to heal on the inside and have this retreat experience, it has ripple effects through the entire workplace. And then the clients benefit and business benefit. So it's a win-win for businesses. And it definitely helps us. Yes.
I love that.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing. I just thought there's more. You're doing so many things. And I know that as the subscribers and the listeners grow and they're sharing this and other people are hearing about your beautiful organization that you created here in the Valley, they're going to want to be bringing their people to Arizona in the fall. I mean, who doesn't want to come to Arizona between maybe mid-October to probably the second week of April? What do you do in the off months then? Because you're outdoors. So what do you do with your horses? You're not in July and having your retreat. So tell me what that looks like for you. How do you have to shift? Because that's super key.
Yes, talk about pivots. Last summer, it rocked our world. It did. One, because it gets so hot for the horses and people. We service an addiction treatment center, and they needed to pause healing. And it's unfortunate that happens. So some of the funding that we've been asking for is to be able to be fully operational in the summer. So covered round pen space, some cooling techniques. There's lots of smart things that we can do now to help people and animals stay cool through the summer. But it's been challenging. It's one of those hurdles that requires me as also a business owner to then shift focus. And I guess the answer is we're still working on it because we've been gifted several things. Like we were gifted by a veteran that came through the program to use his entire cabin up in Utah to help people heal and to use it as a retreat. But because we've not been funded, we've not been able to pursue it and to create that environment for people to come heal. So there's things like that. But there are retreat spaces we want to partner with here in Arizona. And again, we're really good at building relationship, but being able to have the funds to back that so that it is long-term would be very, very helpful.
So if you had a magic wand, Kaleigh, you could right now create the money that you needed in your bank account today. What would that number be?
For this year or for because I'm shooting 5 years.
Yeah, 5 years.
Like, why do we got to just look at this year?
No, of course. Yeah. Okay, 5 years down the road, you're doing all the things. You've hired other therapists. Your activities are growing outside of Arizona. You're utilizing the ranch in Utah and maybe one in Colorado. What does this look like for you? If you could dream the biggest dream you've ever had. Yeah. And I know God has a bigger dream for you.
Oh, yeah.
So we will talk about that too, because I mean, it seems to, so first answer that question, and then I have a follow-up on the God question, because I think that's an important thing to say.
I have an answer for the first one. It just popped in my head. 10 million. That's what it would be for several years of like everything's funded and we can just go.
Love
that. And there's people out there that want to write $10 million checks. They just don't know I exist. You talk about visibility. They don't know we exist.
And that is
we don't know how to connect with them.
And that is what this platform is for. It's for this exact conversation.
Yes.
Who is listening right now or watching that can put you in touch with that next person who needs to know about you and what you're doing and have an experience with your horses, with you, with your team, so that you can continue to make such an important impact in the world. And I just think the power of impact is so important. And I want to get back to, for some reason, the last 10 or 20 years, maybe even, the conversation with the word G-O-D.
Yes.
Has been, I'm on a spiritual journey. I'm not part of religion anymore. I've left the constructs and of that, what that feels like. Oh, I'm in a divine connection. And I had somebody say to me, it's Gus, God, universe, source. Whatever speaks to your heart is good for you. But you are there is no other language you talk about other than his walk, his sacrifice. The Almighty has blessed you. Yes. And I love that you know exactly who you are and what you stand for unapologetically.
Yes.
And being able to come onto a public broadcast in a podcast space and speak, I love this dialogue we're having, because I think it's who you are, it's what makes your light shine, and it's what moves you forward every day. And I just want to honor that space with you and that language, because I think that there's a community out there that thinks they can't walk their walk.
Yes. There's so much fear. The state of the world right now is a lot of division and a lot of fear and a lot of hurt. And I'm so grateful you said that about me, because that's who I am. When I have clients seek me out and they identify with a different faith or no faith, one of the first things I say is, I know you see I wear a cross, but I want you to know this is an agenda space. This is your free, safe space. And we go wherever you want. I'm fully me, you're fully you. And you get to decide, am I someone safe to walk with or not? And that's okay. But I look and I go, the rock foundation that I'm on, how could I not be faithful to the one person that has been faithful my entire life? The one that has rescued me from myself, the one that has shown me the path forward, the one that has fed me and clothed me and loved me. How could I turn my back on that and say they don't exist? Now, in most spaces, we do call ourselves the rebels for Jesus, because it isn't about rules and regulations, cleaning up your hair no, we come just as we are, and we say we love him with our full hearts, and we follow his way, and his way is to love people. His way is to do things with everybody in mind. How is it actually going to affect my neighbor? Like, if we have this podcast, how's it going to affect our neighbors? Well, they're going to be encouraged. They're going to be inspired. They're going to learn. They're going to grow. And that's what we ought to do.
They're going to maybe begin a new life, because every day we wake up with that breath, and I wake up with hello sunshine, and sometimes it takes me a while to get moving in the morning, and my husband can just pop right up and get going, and he's ready to have his big day. And sometimes I need to lean into mine and get it started and have a routine around gratitude and writing in my journal and having my meditation. And then I have my coffee, and then I find my way up into my office. I call it my creation station, because I think we all need a space where we can feel that. And by being in a community, you said you've worked from home. I want to touch on that really quick, and then I want you to share with the audience how they can locate you and find you. But working from home can also, I believe, really create a PTSD space too, because we're not finding that community of cheerleaders and believers and inspirers, and we're just there in our own space. And sometimes we can get into our own head, and that can get ugly.
Yes, it can. There are some benefits and drawbacks. One of the benefits is I get to see my animals. Like, I get to hang with my cats. I don't have a long commute. But there were some major challenges when they sent us all working from home in the pandemic, like within a day. Go work from home. I was having withdrawal symptoms from human contact. And I was like, I'm actually having withdrawal symptoms, like drug abuse. What is going on? And I realized how much I was addicted to helping. I was a workaholic. So it was a blessing to show me, but as biological beings, we aren't wired to be in a box, in a square, in our house all day, every day alone.
Or even in a cubicle in an office.
Exactly. Like, we are called to be out in nature. That teaches us. We're called to walk together. We're called to have fun and play and recreation. And sometimes that looks like the pickleball court, and sometimes it looks like the river. Sometimes it looks like horses, and sometimes it looks like goat yoga.
Oh, goat yoga. That's hysterical. I've not done that yet. I need to do that. And that is why in the studio we have this beautiful real life money tree. We have this beautiful bamboo here. I have crystals. Like, I want nature around us. I have this beautiful wood circle here for those of you that are just listening. For my crystals, but I feel we need to be connected, and we need to be bringing in all the elements, and the fire and the wind and the water and the earth, and just get grounded. And the horses have all of that.
Yes, they do.
They are so grounded, like they're in Gaia hard, like they're all the way rooted. Yep. And what beautiful creatures that you get to work with.
I get a benefit every day, all day. It's literal medicine. But I also look at them and I go, they're not just a tool. They're even more. They're a relationship. And they hold me accountable. They grow my spirit. They tell me when I'm off. Trust me. They're like, girl, what are you doing? And I'm like, okay, you're right. They teach me.
Tell me about where can people reach you? How can they follow you? What do they need to know about you right now, today? Take action. Go check out this website. It's called
azbrokenarrow.com. And if you want to see the video and know more about donating, it's /donate. Simple. azbrokenarrow.com/donate.
And then we'll put that information in the show notes.
Thank you.
And also, I'll share it on my Instagram, Veronica Bond. You can share it on yours this episode when it launches. And we will get the word out, Kaleigh, and we will be here to support you. And I can't wait to have you come back on our show in a few months and let us know how things are going.
Oh, yeah.
And how your summer went.
Thank you.
Anything else you'd like to leave us with today?
That people are loved and they matter, including you. And thank you so much for having me. I'm so glad to watch your sunshine just beam in this room. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Kaleigh, so much. I appreciate you, sweetie. I have a gift for you. I have a gift for all of our guests.
No way.
And this just felt like it was calling your name.
Oh, I love the yellow.
I knew you would.
Also, the sunflower is totally my flower.
I know, it's totally you.
Oh my gosh, what?
No, how cool is that?
Okay, so it says to see a world in a grain of sand and a heaven in a wildflower. It's such the truth. It is. If we stop and pay attention, we see beauty all around. We just got to open our perspective.
So good.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kaleigh, for joining us today. And please go and donate, even if it's $5 or $10. It will go to such an incredible cause. And next week, stay tuned for our incredible entrepreneur conversation with a beautiful multi-figure earner who is going to pour into you, share her story, and I can't wait to reveal who that is. Bye for now. Thanks for tuning in to Be Visible with Veronica. If today's episode sparked something in you, share it, tag me, and pass it on. Your presence has power, and the world is better when you let it be seen. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and keep showing up as the unstoppable force you were born to be. I'll see you next time.